Shalom Israel. First and foremost, we give all praises, all honor and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Shai, by Hashem Kakadash, that born the apostles, and those who gave most for teaching us his truth, peace, and blessings to hope like Israel and Shalom. Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father in ancient Hebrew. By Hashem is the name. Yahweh Shai is the name of the begotten Son. Back on the lesson, and today we're going to go into these end time signs that we are seeing. As you see, we hear the signs in the heavens. And it says Jupiter will make its closest pass to Earth in 59 years. As well, you're seeing many chariot sightings popping up and taking place all over the world, showing you we're nearing the end of this devil's kingdom. And that we are almost out of here, man. Yahweh has shown us the times that we're in by the way of these things, man. So, jump right into a few videos that I got, and Lord, to be a fine listen, jump right into it.
Plans you have tomorrow because you need to see this. Jupiter is going to be the closest it's been to Earth in the last 59 years, and if you miss it, it won't be this close again for another 107 years. In fact, it's going to be so close, comparatively speaking of course, that even with just a pair of binoculars, you should be able to see these stripes on Jupiter's surface. But it gets even bloody better because according to the Columbus Dispatch, this incredible closeness will occur at the same time Earth is between Jupiter and the Sun, known as opposition, which essentially means that's going to make Jupiter appear larger, brighter, and sexier. And if you don't know where to...
And if you remember a few months back, you even had the planets aligning, strawberry moons, blood moons, all the different end time signs that we have seen, man. Never seen things happening more frequently, especially happening right after another. And speaking on these chariots, you're seeing so many new sightings, videos popping up, especially on TikTok, man. I'll be scrolling every now and then see so many videos of new chariot sightings, man. These places through, man.
Look, a UFO was spotted in Brooklyn, New York.
Yo, what the is that?
Now, you had brothers over there in New York and also in Virginia seeing this chariot also. So brothers also saw this, man. Let's continue.
What the is that?
Skim past it. Get a few more and we'll jump into scriptures. Be short lesson. And all these chariot sightings that I just played right here are all recent, man. It said flying saucer hovers near high school 9/23/2022. Wentzville says students react to what they see, and you've seen how shocked these people are and how afraid they are. Now imagine when the Lord returns with an army, man. Ships going to tell the chariots of the Lord 20,000, even thousands of angels. These people have seen nothing yet.
What the fuck is that, man? Christian, we're getting invaded by aliens, man. What is going on?
The script's also going to tell them to be struck with, terrible fear, man. They're going to be afraid and they're going to be shook, man. Wisdom of Psalm 5:2. How they mean awe and the strength of his salvation. They're all going to be stunned, man.
What the fuck?
And so we heard video from people from different parts of our planet recently. And you're seeing this all over the world, man. Like I just said, you're seeing so many new videos just popping up.
Wow, ¿qué es eso?
And we're seeing this goes to show that we're nearing the end of this devil's kingdom. You're seeing them more frequently, Now, as we progress later into these end days, you're going to see more and more start to show themselves, manifest. Start to manifest and show themselves even more. May even be descending a little bit more to where they're easier to see. And you have many videos coming out of military shooting at these chariots, and I believe they also have many videos and footage of these chariots, but they said they won't release it because it'll be a national what's what I'm looking for? It'll be a national threat to security, for lack of better words. I forget the exact word. But the last video, and then we'll jump back into scriptures.
This might be the best UFO sighting caught on camera. Watch until the end.
Wait, what the? Where is it? Where is it? I can't find it. Oh wait, focus. That's not a fucking bird.
The hawk doesn't turn orange.
What is that?
Dude, I can't get on my camera.
What is this? Dude?
Wait, look.
What? Oh! Dude, they see it. Dude, they see it. What?
It's obviously not a weather balloon. Because with all the sensors that they have, especially on those jets, they wouldn't bring out 4 or 5 jets just to check that out. These devils know, man. So you see them always trying to debunk the chariots and sweep it under the rug because they know their kingdom is coming to an end. And especially when they see these chariots, man. Because this is a terrible sign for their kingdom, and especially these heathen nations, man. You know, because Scripture going to tell you can have many of these chariots beaming people down with laser beams, concentrated beams of fire, going to the 2nd Ezra 13th chapter. You know, a great destruction is coming to this place, man. And we're nearing the end of it. Luke 21:25 through 28, going to the end time signs. You know, because these are the things that need to take place before our Lord Yahushua makes his return. Start with the 25th verse, and it should be signs in the sun and the moon and in the stars. These signs in the heavens that we are seeing. And I believe a couple years back, you had over there in China, to where you had what seemed to be, you know, 2 suns over there, man. You know, but and read one time. And there should be signs in the sun and the moon and the stars, and upon the earth there's nation with perplexity, riots, protests, the sea and the waves roaring. You're seeing hurricanes, man. Yeah, Hurricane Fiona. You know, I believe it's finished already, but I believe now you have another hurricane, pretty much getting ready to hit Florida, I believe. You know, verse 26, which you saw right there, how those kids at those schools were freaking out, screaming. Verse 26, men hearts failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. These people are not even, or haven't seen nothing yet, men. You know, imagine when the Lord returns, especially on that fathership. You know, people are going to be having heart attacks, just dying, just seeing it, man. Verse 27, initially you see the Son of Man, which is Yahushua coming in a cloud, which that cloud that's speaking of is going into those chariots, those so-called UFOs / UAPs, as they like to call it, with power and great glory. Excuse me, verse 28, and when these things begin to come to pass, and look up and lift your heads for your redemption, draw nigh. So seeing these things is just showing you that we're nearing the end of this devil's kingdom, man, especially with these chariots, because these are the vehicles that can deliver the Lord's elect, maybe by one gigantic chariot or by multiple. You know, Scripture mentioned in back, like the book of Matthew 24th chapter and the 31st verse. You know how they shall gather the elect together from the 4 winds, you know, from the 4 corners of the earth. But these are major, major end time signs. This is Ecclesiastes 36:6 says, show new signs and make others strange wonders. Glorify thy hand and thy right arm, that they may set forth thy wondrous works. You know, so those new signs and those strange wonders, seeing these plagues, these pestilence, this destruction that how much is bringing upon this earth. Because you recently had also many videos coming out of deserts, you know, having lakes now, you know, water, you know, running rampant over there. You know, these are new signs and strange wonders, man, especially in the heavens. You know, these chariot sightings, as well with the planets. You know, Jupiter being as closest to Earth than it has ever been in 59 years. You know, it's not a coincidence that all these things are happening, man. Especially so frequently, and especially after another, man. Like in Matthew 24:30, and I'll get the 31st verse since I mentioned it. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man, which is Yahushua, in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. So showing you the Lord's coming back with an army. As I mentioned earlier, the Lord's come, you know, the chariots of the Lord 20,000, even thousands of angels. You know, read that from my top one more time. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man come in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory, coming back with an army, man. And there's the 31st verse, as I mentioned it. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the 4 winds, from one end of the heaven to the other. And you have people trying to demonize the chariots, make it seem as something bad, you know, trying to paint the angels, you know, in a bad way. As you see also what they did with the movie Nope, you know, to make it to where if you look up at the chariot, you know, it destroys you. But yeah, it's going to be something wicked and something bad to those that are being wicked, that have not repented, you know, that continue to follow after these wicked, you know, and worldly ways. Yeah, it'll be something bad and wicked to you. As I mentioned earlier, you have these chariots beaming people down, man. So y'all that don't repent, take heed, are going to be destroyed and going to face severe judgment, man. You know? It's like Psalms 104:3. So who laid the beams of his chambers in the waters? Who makes the clouds his chariot? So showing you what the clouds is speaking of. You know? So who laid the beams of his chambers in the waters? Who makes the clouds his chariot? Who walketh upon the wings of the wind? And they showed in the movie Nope, for example, where they have the chariots, you know, concealing themselves, cloaking themselves in the midst of those clouds, you know, showing you what it's speaking of. You know, where do you think they got the inspiration to do that? You know? See Zechariah 5:1-2 to go into the description of the chariots. There's multiple. Once they have, you know, different identifiers with these chariots, you know, a tic-tac, cigar shape, You know, and going back to book Ezekiel and that wheel in the midst of a wheel, basically the what's the word? For like a better word, the normal chariot that you see. You know, what they looks like to be a wheel in the midst of a wheel. That's the saucer shape, for like better words. But it says in verse 5, Then I turned and lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. And he said to me, What seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits. So describing that chariot. So these are the last few scriptures I got, and the Lord's edifying. Isaiah 31:5, As birds flying, so will the Lord of hosts. As birds flying, so will Yahweh Bashim of hosts defend Jerusalem. Defending also, he will deliver it, and passing over, he will preserve it. You know, many people have the audacity to paint the chariots, you know, the angels in a bad way. You know, scripture also going to, you know, the eyes of the Lord, which are those chariots. You know, the eyes of the Lord upon the sinful kingdom. Let's actually get this quick. The eyes of the Lord. And multiple scriptures that go into it. Let's see. Proverbs 15:3 says, The eyes of Yahweh by Shem are every place, beholding the evil and the good. You also have over there in your crane, which now is becoming more, like common knowledge. There, you know, there's chariots, you know, fleets of them just observing over there. You know, there's tons of articles that are about it, and as I mentioned, a few of my lessons go into these chariots, man. You know, there's one video that came out when it first kicked off. You had a fleet of chariots observing it, man. You know, those are the eyes of the Lord, those chariots, man, the angels that are in those vehicles. So we got Isaiah 31:5. As birds flying, so will the Lord of hosts defend Jerusalem. Defending also, he will deliver it, and passing over, he will preserve it. These last three. Let's get book of 6, Psalm 16:17, as I mentioned earlier. So the chariots of the Most High 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord is among them, as in Sinai, the holy place. So Yahweh Shai is coming back with an army, man. These devils will stand no chance. Going to the book of Revelations, you know, the 12th chapter, the 7th to the 8th verse, going to that war in heaven that's going to take place. Not the literal spiritual realm, but here, man. You know, that's why you have these devils creating a space force in order to compete and go against the Lord, man. But guess what? When you read the 8th verse, and prevailed not. They're going to lose, and it is written. Alright, the last three I got. Wisdom of Solomon 5:2. As you saw in that video, with the chariots, you know, hovering over that school, how they're freaking out and screaming. These people are going to be afraid, and they're going to be shook, man. They have seen nothing yet. You know, just wait until these chariots start to, you know, descend even lower. You know, start popping up more frequently than they are already, which is, you know, happening super frequently now. Wisdom of Solomon 5:2. So when they see it, they should be troubled with terrible fear. You know, people having heart attacks, dying just from seeing it. There's multiple videos that come out of people just freaking out. You know, their voice will start shaking. You know, their hand will start shaking. You see the, you know, the camera just, you know, shaking, you know, frantically, for lack of better words. And shall be amazed at the strength of his salvation so far beyond all that they looked for. You know, they're gonna be stunned, man. Acts 2:19 through 20. Then I will show wonders in heaven above and signs in the earth beneath, which you're seeing both. You know, all these plagues, these pestilence that Yahweh has sent upon this place. You're seeing biblical famines. You see multiple articles that'll mention that. You know, and over there, as I mentioned earlier, you know, you have a desert that has, you know, a river now. You know, I mean, come on. And even super recently now, there's a few videos coming out of certain animals starting to beach themselves. You had seals, you had crocodiles, and you even had orcas starting to group up all next to each other, man. You know, so hey, things are happening. And I'll show wonders in the heaven above and signs in the earth beneath, blood and fire and vapor of smoke. Verse 20 says, the sun shall be turned in darkness and the moon into blood, before the great and notable day of the Lord comes. So showing you the major end time signs, man. Seeing these blood moons, these strawberry moons, you know, and all these different things that are taking place. You know, the eclipses and all that. And close out book of Romans 13, chapter 13:11. You know, Lord is edifying. But hey, you're seeing these things, man. Hey, repent before it's too late. You're seeing so many things happening, especially with how, you know, frequent these chariots that start to, you know, show themselves. You know, because years back it would be, you know, a rare case, a rare sighting to see in a chariot, man. You know, and now they're not able to just sweep it under the rug as they used to, man. Showing you their kingdom is coming to an end and they're losing their power. Romans 13:11, and we'll pull up with this. And at knowing the time, now it's high time to awake out of sleep. You know, wake up, repent, man. Open your eyes. For now is our salvation nearer than we believed. We are almost out of here, man. Our redemption draweth nigh. Because people are still going to see these things and think none of it, man. Think, oh, it's just a coincidence. You know, we're seeing so many things happening back to back to back. You know, more Chariots starting are starting to, you know, happen all over the world. You know, Yahweh has shown us the times that we're in by the way of these things, man. And y'all better repent if you have not already, man. But Lord, you're edified, and you want to give all praises, all and glory to Yahweh Bashem Shai, Bashem Kakadash. The bar to the apostles and elders, great millstone of Jesus is truth, peace and blessings, the whole of Israel, and Shalom. See you next one.